Hi everyone, welcome to S4 Shanya Science classes. Today we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction in plants. We have discussed about asexual reproduction and here we are discussing about the sexual reproduction especially in plants. Before going the process and all, we have to understand what is the reproductive organ in plant. The actual reproductive organ in a plant, that's actually the flower. You can see that the flower is that actually the reproductive organ in which you can see that the male part and female part is there. First we have to understand the parts of the flower. Here you can see that here there is a cross section of the flower in which you can see all the parts of the flower. The parts of the flower actually we can divide it into two categories. One is the essential part, or we can say that essential whorls and non-essential whorls. Why it is categorized such as? Here you can see that we told that the reproductive part is the flower. What is the main function of reproduction? Obviously that's actually continuing the generation. So this essential part is actually very much important for the reproduction. Without that there will be no reproduction. So that's why these are called essential whorls, right? Non-essential part is actually they have their own role, but it's not compulsory. Without the help of them also the reproduction can take place. So here we will go and discuss what is that essential part and non-essential part. The essential part include the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ. The male reproductive organ, it's actually called the stamen. The stamen include, there will be an anther in which you can see that the dotted pollen grain will be there, and there will be a stalk like structure which is called the filament. And the female part, that's actually include three parts together. You can see that these are the three parts: stigma, style and ovary. This together known as the carpel or the pistil, you can say that. Stigma is the area where the pollen grain receiving. Style is a stalk like structure which actually connecting the ovary and the stigma. And the last, the ovary part in which the ovule, the female reproductive gamete is there. We will go and discuss one by one in detail. So here you can see that the sexual reproductive organ of a flower, of a plant, is a flower. It has sepals, petals, stamen and carpel. Sepal and petal, I told you these are non-essential whorl. That means without the help of them also reproduction can take place. Stamen and carpel, it's actually the essential word. Without them we cannot continue the reproduction. So here in this picture also you can see that this is the petal part, right? So here you can see that this is the petal, this is the petal part. Everywhere you can see that the petals are really colored, right? So they are actually, the main function is that attracting the what will you say that the agents of pollination like insects and all other birds and all, because of this attractive color. ये अट्रैक्टिव कलर की वजह से वो अच्छे से इंसेक्ट्स को, बर्ड्स को और सच पोलिनेशन एजेंट्स को अट्रैक्ट करेगा, सो दैट देयर विल बी पोलिनेशन हैपन. And you can see that there is sepal present here. It's a leaf like structure, a small leaf like structure. इसका main function जो बता रही है, when the flower will be in the bud stage, or that means inside the male part and female part will be there, these sepals will protect that the entire bud. So that's the main function of the sepal. What is the function of petal? We told that it's actually, you can see that it's actually discussing that attracting the insects and all, and sepals actually you can see that it's actually protecting the entire flower which will be in the bud stage, right? Now you can see that there will be a stalk like structure, that's actually the receptacle, and niche you can see that there will be pedicel and all other part will be there, right? And you can see that the essential part, which is a stamen, you can see here it has a head like structure which is called anther, right? If you are taking the structure of the anther, you can see that there will be four parts together. That means, or you can see that this is actually like this structure, right? Inside which you can see that the male gamete, the male gamete part, the pollen grain is there. Inside that pollen grain you can see the male gamete, right? And you can see that there will be filament which is actually helping the attachment of that entire stamen. And the female part, it's actually called the carpel or the pistil. It consists of a flat head like structure which is the stigma. Stigma is actually, the main function is the receiving the pollen grain right, from that actually the anther, right. So that's actually the function of stigma. And you can see that there is a long stalk like structure which is actually tube like structure which is actually connecting the stigma part and the ovary part. Ovary is the main important part. Inside you can see that the ovules will be present inside, which is the female reproductive part. Inside the ovule you can see the egg will be there, right. So these are actually, the style is actually the long tube like structure which is connecting the stigma part and the ovary part. I hope you have a clear understanding of that structure of the flower now. Now according to the type of part present in that, male part or female part or the both, we have categorized that flowers into two types, the unisexual flower and the bisexual flower. What do you mean by unisexual? That means it consists either of any one. That means you are telling either the male part will be there, that means it consists of stamen, right, or the female part, that's actually you can see that the carpel, right. Then these type of flowers are called unisexual flower. And bisexual, both are present, the male and female both are present. That means it will have stamen and carpel both. So that's the bisexual flower. We will go and detail in detail. Here you can see that the unisexual flower, the flower which contain either stamen or pistil, any one. It can be either stamen, male part, then we will say that it is a male flower. It can be either pistil, then we will say that it is the female flower. The main example you can see that the papaya, watermelon, even nutmeg, etc. These all are that which is having unisexual flower. In this also you can see another category is there. That means these are actually, if you are taking the case of watermelon having that unisexual flower, that means it has male flower, right, and also the female flower in the same plant itself. So that means the plant is actually the total plant, if you are taking, this is the bisexual plant which is having male flower and female flower separately, right. Another case is there in the case of nutmeg, right. If you are taking jaifal or javitri, that's actually if you are taking in that nutmeg, the female plant is different which is having female flower, the male plant is different which is having male flower, that's also different. So here you can say that the entire plant itself, it is unisexual plant, right. But here in watermelon case, that means hamara that karbooj or tarbooj, right, in that case it is actually bisexual. I hope you have a clear idea now, right. Now you can see the bisexual flower. Bisexual flower, what is the specialty here? You can see that the flower contain both stamen and the pistil or the carpel, right. So main examples, very easy example, the hibiscus or khudel or mustard, these are the common example. You can see that the hibiscus is the flower given here. You can see that this is the male part which is the anther part, the filament, and the ovary part, both present in the same flower, then it is called a bisexual flower, right. Now you can see that more detail of that, the reproductive part. You can see that here the stigma which is actually receiving the pollen grains, and there will be style part which is actually connecting the ovary and the stigma, and you can see that the carpel or the all together, these all part, the ovary and the style together, you can see that the pistil and the stigma all together, they say that carpel also, right. So what is the function, all these things you have to understand. So one by one we will discuss. The female part we will discuss here, right. So you understand that there is a ovary which is the enlarged part, right. In that you can see that the lower portion of the flower, you can see that enlarged structure at the base of the carpel or the pistil, right. Inside which you can see that there will be ovule, inside that there will be the female gamete, the egg will be present, right. So here this actually the fertilization is occurring and it will become later into the fruit, right. And you can see the ovules are there which actually contain the female germ cells or the egg cells inside this ovule, right. इसके अंदर आपको egg cells मिल सकती है, right. So here you can see that these egg will be developed into the seed after fertilization, and this ovary, right, ovule will be developed into the seed, and the ovary, you can see that the entire ovary, right, this will be developed into a fruit. It's very easy to understand. फर्टिलाइजेशन की बात, यू कैन सी दैट द एग विच इज इनसाइड पार्ट, हमेशा फ्रूट की अंदर सीड होती है ना, right? So the outer part, that's the ovary will be developed into a fruit, and inside part, that's actually the ovule, right? You can see that the ovule will be developed into a seed part, right? So that's actually the egg part, right? And you can see that the stigma will be there, where the pollen grains from the anther, you can see that the pollen grains from the anther will go and receive that. It is actually the pollen grain will be received by the stigma part, right? And it will be stick into that, right? And the style is that actually the long tube like structure which is actually connecting the stigma and ovary. We will discuss that what it is actually, the function and all. Now we are going to discuss about the male part, some more detail. You can see that this is actually the anther part, and totally we will say that stamen, it has anther and filament is there. Anther, you can see that the part of that stamen that produces the pollen, right, or the pollen grain. You can see that if you are taking the cross section, you can see that this, the total part is called anther, right? And if you are taking the cross section, you can see that there will be 4 different parts in which the pollen grains are there, right? Inside the pollen grain, the male gamete is present. Inside the pollen grain, the male gamete is present, right? You can see that there is a stalk like structure which is called the filament part, right, which is actually hold the anther properly, right? So here inside the pollen grain, I told you these are the male gametophyte, or that in which the male gametes are there. So these are the parts of the male part of a flower. Now, what are the steps in sexual reproduction of a flower? So there is a first phenomena that's actually called pollination. That means the transfer of that pollen grain from the stamen to stigma. That process is called pollination. Once the pollination occur, the pollen grain will be transferred into that ovary, right? You can see that, right? So you can see that the pollen grain will germinate and it will form a pollen tube, right, through which that male gamete will be transferred into the ovary. That process is the second process. After that, that male gamete will reach in the ovary, then there will be egg and it will fuse together with the egg. That's called the fertilization. After that, after fertilization, there will be zygote formation, and it can be lead to the formation of fruit and seed. So one by one we will discuss. First one, the pollination. The process of transfer of pollen from male gamete or the male part of the flower, that's actually the anther, right, to the female part, that's actually the stigma. The process is known as pollination. So we can say that the process of transfer of pollen grains from the stigma or from the stamen to stigma is called pollination. Here you can see that the pollen grains are there on the anther. It will be transferred to the stigma. It can be by means of any. It can be pollination agents are there, like you can say that they are called pollination agents, such as wind, insects, right, or anything, even birds. There are so many carriers are there which is actually helping to transfer the pollen grain from here to that stigma part, right? So here, according to that, the plant, the flower contain male and female part or the both. You can categorize the pollination into 2 types mainly. That's actually called self-pollination and cross-pollination. We will discuss that. In self-pollination, you can see that self-pollination is possible only the flower having, that's actually both the sex organs. That means it will be possible only in a bisexual flower. You can see here that it is having the male part and the female part. So self-pollination means transfer of pollen grain from the anther to the stigma of the same flower, which is called self-pollination. It must be a bisexual flower, then only in the same flower it is possible, right? So that means this is the self-pollination is possible only in the case of bisexual flower, which is having the male part and the female part, right? So that means which is having the stamen and the stigma, right? So you can see that here, from here the stamen, the pollen grains are there, right? So that will be transferred into the stigma of the same flower, then it is called self-pollination. Mostly I told you all the bisexual flower there will be self-pollination. Can here a cross-pollination possible? You can see that, that's our next question. So before that you have to understand what you mean by cross-pollination. Here you can see that the cross pollination. What do you mean by the cross pollination here? Cross pollination is actually a plant A, right, which is having one flower, and the other one, the plant B, which is having another flower, right. So the transfer of pollen grain from one flower's anther to the another flower, right. So that's actually another flower stigma. That's called cross pollination. We can say that transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the another flower is called cross pollination. Another flower, it can be happen in the same plant. You can see that if this plant, if this is a plant, right, it consists of two flower, right. You can see that there will be two flower, right. It is a bisexual flower, right. So here another bisexual flower is there. You can see that there is another bisexual flower is there. From the stigma, or the from the stamen to here, then it is a cross pollination, right. If it is a bisexual flower, from the same flowers anther to the stigma, then it is a self pollination. So in a plant you can see that in the bisexual flowers there will be chances of self pollination and also cross pollination, right. So you can see that, but in the case of what is a unisexual flowers, there is no chance of self pollination, only cross pollination possible. It can be from the same plant, different flowers, or it can be from the different plant and the different flowers. So anyway it is possible. I hope you understand what is the point is there, right. That means ये flower अभी ये एक plant में present है, राइट, और सेम प्लांट में दूसरी फ्लावर प्रेजेंट है, उसकी स्टिग्मा से, उसके अंतर से स्टिग्मा में पोलन ग्रेन ट्रांसफर हो रही है, देन दैट इज ए क्रॉस पोलिनेशन. यू कैन सी दैट इट इज द क्रॉस पोलिनेशन हियर. Very easily you can easily understand it is a cross pollination, right. And you can see that if it is a self pollination, then both must be, that means anther will also be there and the stigma, male and female part both present, then only self pollination possible. And here cross pollination is also possible. This is the self pollination, right, and you can see that from here to here, then that is the cross pollination. I will mention here, then you will easily understand. This is cross and this is self, right. So self, then it must be a bisexual flower. If it is unisexual, what will happen? It has only male part or female part, so there is not chances of self pollination, right. Only cross pollination possible. I hope it is clear. So here cross pollination, you can see that there will be different, even self pollination, it's actually the stamen and the stigma both are really near to each other, so it can be through wind also the pollination will be possible. But cross pollination, it will be take place by means of different pollinating agent. It can be bat in the night time, it can be insects, it can be honeybee, or it can be even birds, right, or it can be even wind. So these all are the different types of pollination agents. So now you know that pollination happen. The anther from the anther the pollen grain reached on the stigma, right. तो pollination हो गया है, anther के ऊपर से pollen grain stigma के ऊपर पहुंच गई, right. Now you can see that these are the pollen grain on the stigma. Now what will happen? Now you can see that once that pollen grain reached here, from the ovary there will be a chemical signal will be produced, right. So there will be some hormones will be produced. Because of that this pollen grain will start germinating, right. वो pollen grain there will be, it will start germinating and it will produce a special tube like structure which is called pollen tube. ये pollen tube very narrow tube है. अब pollen tube के अंदर you can see that the pollen grain, the male gamete will come in through the pollen tube and it will reach in the ovary part, right. So inside the ovary you can see that the ovule will be there and ovule के अंदर male female gametes are there. Now the fusion of the male and female gamete will be occur, which is called the fertilization. So you have to understand how it is happening. First the pollination will be there, pollination के बाद you can see that from the anther to the stigma pollen grain will be reached. Each pollen grain will have a signal, right, from the ovary, that in that time this pollen grain will germinate to produce a special tube like structure which is called the pollen tube. through the pollen tube, the male gametes from the pollen grain will be released, and it is the road, it is the tube like structure, it is the pathway through which the pollen grain will reach at the ovary, inside the ovary. And inside the ovary, you know that there will be ovule, inside that egg cells are there. Now these egg and this male gamete will fuse together and they will form the zygote. So fusion of male and female gamete, the process is called fertilization, right? So you can see that it is actually occurring inside the ovule, right? I hope it is clear, right? So here I have given the detailed structure so that you can easily understand. Pollen grain, you can see that the pollen tube is there. Through the pollen tube, the sperms will come and it will reach in the ovule, right? So this is actually the ovule. Inside the ovule, this is a special structure, you can see that. In higher class, you will learn more detail about that, but in class 10, you don't need to that much detail. You can say that this is called the embryo sac, in which you can see that the egg cells are there and some other cells which is called polar nuclei, that is also there. In angiosperm, what will happen? The sperms will reach here. One, there will be two male gametes will be there. One will fuse together with that egg, and another will go and fuse together with the polar nuclei. So there are actually two fertilization happening at that same time. So this event in angiosperms are the flowering plants. Angiosperms, it is known as double fertilization. Only the name you have to remember, not that much detail. Double fertilization, because in the higher class you will learn about that. Now the after this, what will happen? You can see here, this will form that male and female gamete fusion will be there, the fertilization occur. Now what will happen? This will be lead the formation of the embryo, zygote formation will be there. Then it will be lead to the embryo formation. This embryo later will form the seed, the ovule. That means these all are happening inside the ovule. The entire ovule will be converted into the seed, and the outer portion, that's the ovary, it will be converted into the fruit part. So you can see that after fertilization, the zygote divides continuously, that means several times. The zygote will be converted into the embryo within the ovule. This ovule, right, later develop into a stuff coat, right, and it will be gradually converted into the seed. And this stuff coat, that's actually called the seed coat, right? And you can see that I already told you, you can see take an apple, right? If you are taking an apple, inside the apple the seeds will be there. So here also we learned that if this is the ovary part, inside the ovary there will be ovule. So the ovule will be converted into the seed part, and the outer portion, that's actually the ovary, which will be converted in the fruit part, right? That you can easily understand. But in case of apple, there is slight difference. In higher class, you can learn that it is a false fruit. I am not going in detail of that. Just understand the ovule will be developed into a seed, and the ovary will be converted into a fruit, right? So ovary grow rapidly to form a fruit, and you can see that the non-essential part, that's actually the sepals, petals and all other parts, after the fertilization there is no use of that will fall down. So I already told you, in angiosperm plant, this is actually called, especially in angiosperm, no other plant groups it is not occurring, it's only in angiosperms. This is called a double fertilization. Why it is actually called a double fertilization? Because here there will be two male gametes will be the sperms will be there, that's actually one's fused with the egg and another fused with the polar body, and it will form, one is the zygote, right? So which will become the embryo inside the seed, and another which will be that means the male gamete which will fuse together with the secondary nuclei, and it will form a special structure called endosperm. It is actually triploid in nature. I told you that you will learn in higher class in detail, but just understand the double fertilization is occur only in the case of angiosperm. It's only the special phenomena especially for angiosperm. What is happening here? Two male gametes are there, two gametes or the two sperms, we can say that one will fuse together with the egg and it will form the zygote, and the other will fuse together with the polar body or polar nuclei, and it will form the endosperm, right. So this endosperm is actually the food for the young embryo, for the development and all. It will form the young embryo, right. You can see that here, this is the embryo part. For the embryo, the growth and all, the first food will be provided by the endosperm, which is actually forming by the fusion of the secondary that nuclei or the polar body with the another sperm, right. So here I have given the picture, you can easily understand. Inside you can see that this is that actually the ovary part. Inside the ovary, ovule will be there. Ovule will be converted into the seed, and the ovary, the outside part, which will be converted into the fruit, right. Or even you can see that there will be the entire structure, the covering, that's actually the fruit part or whatever it is, right. You can see that, right. And what is the structure of the seed, that also you have to understand. Once the seed formation take place, it has actually the seed actually, whether it is monocote and dicote, there is slight difference, but whatever it is, they have two cotyledons, then it will known as the dicote, right. Whether the seed contain two cotyledons, right, so then it is called dicote, right. And cotyledons are actually that early seedlings, right. You can see that at the time of germination, this cotyledon, this is yellowish in color, it will be change its color into green, and it will do the first photosynthesis and prepare the food for the developing embryo, right. You can see that. So that's actually the early seedlings, that's why it is a leaf like structure, you can see that. So that's why it is early seedlings we are telling, right. So these cotyledons, you can see that if it is 2 in number, then it is dicotyledonous plant or dicotes, or if it is only 1, then it is a monocotyledonous plant, or it can simply say that it is a monocote, right. So you can see that the other structure, you can see that there will be a what will you say, embryonic axis, and there will be a shoot like structure and a root like structure. That means you can see here, if you are taking a what will say, rajma, kidney bean seeds or anything, you can see that at the time of germination there will be a leaf like part will coming from here, right, and there will be a root like part which is in white in color at the stage. So this is actually the shoot, that means the entire shoot is actually developing from this plant. This is called the plumule, right, and the root, right, will develop from that lower part, which is called the radicle, right. Here also you can see that this is the plumule part, right, and this is the plumule part, and this one is the lower one is the radical part. You can easily see this in the picture, right. I hope you have a clear idea about the structure of seed also, right. So here we are finishing our entire portion of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. I hope you have a clear idea. If you like my video, please subscribe and mention to your friends also. Thank you so much everyone.